Hi, this video is going to demonstrate how to change a bike tire, specifically a road bike with a Presta valve. But the process should be similar for changing most bike tires.
Knowing how to change a bike tire is useful if you get a flat on a ride or if you don't want to have to pay to get it fixed. No previous knowledge is required to be able to complete this task. Changing a bike tire should take only about 10 to 15 minutes, and after that you can get out and enjoy the ride.
So the parts you're going to need are going to be a bike with a flat tire that needs to be fixed. The tools you'll need will be a bike pump, a spare tube, and 2 tire levers. So the first thing you're going to need to do is flip the bike over to be able to take the wheel off. So both your front and back tires are going to have a quick release lever that's going to let you take the wheel off. So to get the wheel off, we're just going to undo the lever and unscrew, hold the other side, and unscrew both sides until it's loose enough to be able to just pop the wheel right out. So your tubes are all going to have a little nut on the valve, and so the first thing you're going to need to be able to do to replace the tube is just unscrew that. So the next step is going to be loosening the tire to be able to take it off. So what you're going to need to do is just kind of work your hands around the wheel and loosen up the bead. And the bead is just the edge of the tube that creates a better seal within the wheel. So next we're going to use our tire levers to pop the tire off. So we're just going to stick the tire lever underneath the tire, careful not to pinch the tube underneath it. And we're going to get one of them in there, and then we're going to go ahead and get both of them in there, and then just kind of work one of them around the edge of the tube and just loosen that up all the way around. So now that we have the tire loosened up, we're going to be able to remove the tube. So we're going to go on that lip we just loosened up and grab the tube from the inside and just work it out of the tire.
Once we reach the valve, all that's left to do is pull the valve through the hole in the wheel.
And there's your flat tube. So now what we're going to want to do is remove the tire from the wheel, and we're going to check the tire for any possible causes of the flat. So we're just going to go ahead and run along the inside here and look for any thorns, any gravel that might have caused the puncture. Now we're going to go ahead and put the tire back on the wheel. So we're just going to set the rim in there and just work one edge of the tire over the edge of the wheel so it sits like this. So before we put the new tube in, we're going to fill it up a little bit to make it a little bit easier. So with the Presta valves, we just unscrew the end here. We take our pump, put it in there, lock the pump, and start filling it up. Really only need to fill it up to about 5 to 10 psi. Now we're going to put our new tube inside the tire and in the wheel. So first we're going to take the valve again and find the valve hole on the wheel and go ahead and put that, slide the tube back and gently put that in there, and then go ahead and slide the tube back over at the point of the valve,
and then begin putting the tube back inside the tire.
So now the tube has been stuffed back into the tire, but we still need to put the beads of the tire back inside the wheel. So we're just going to start at one point and just work the tube back into the wheel. Again, being careful not to squeeze the tube at any point against the wheel, making sure there's no pinching going on. And once we get to the other side of the tube, we might start to find that it's difficult to fit the tire back in there and get the tube back on the wheel. So we're going to go back to the other side and just squeeze the bead again a little bit. Just kind of work it around. And that should loosen up, give us a little bit more slack. So now we're going to screw the nut back on to the valve. And now we're going to begin reinflating the tube, but we're only going to go to about 10 psi and then deflate it because we don't want to get a pinch flat. Once the tire has been deflated again, go ahead and start refilling it all the way up to the recommended pressure found on the tire. Now it's time to put the wheel back on. So we'll just put it back in just as it came out. Might have to wedge it through the brakes a little bit, and then once it's there inside the fork, we'll just screw it back on. So now you should have a functional bike again. Your tire should be filled and should not have a flat, and you should be able to go out and ride again without having to go pay for service at the shop to get it fixed.